Hello, BookTube. I thought we'd take another stroll through Entertainment Weekly and look for literary content. This is a very popular, very cheap entertainment magazine here in the United States that has an enormous circulation. And so you wouldn't expect that it would have any bookish content. But considering that, 90% of all of the hot properties on TV, cable, and the movies are based on written sources, you end up finding a lot of bookish content in Entertainment Weekly. I'm not expecting it to happen so much this time around because we're gearing up for the Oscars. This is the last issue of Entertainment Weekly before the Oscars, so it will be full, I'm sure, of buzzy content. And I keep up with the world of Hollywood and the world of entertainment as much of it as interests me, but I don't keep up with buzz, and I can't wait for the Oscars to be over. So this issue could have not even less bookish content than usual. Okay, well, the cover features this. I don't know these actresses, and I don't know this project. But right inside the cover is a full page color ad for chewing tobacco, and the big warning is this product can cause mouth cancer, and that is a lie. that is a big warning that was bought by the people who manufacture this drug. That is a lie. This product does cause mouth cancer. It does cause mouth cancer. If you use this product, you will get mouth cancer. It causes mouth and throat cancer. Never, to say nothing of the fact that it will clean you out of teeth, even your back molars, but it causes mouth cancer. It can cause. It's not some of the time. It always does. So that's a rough beginning, because you're pushing a drug that causes people to drink their meals through a straw in their throat. Well, who would do that? It's gruesome to do that. We can hope that things get better. Like, for instance, if we go to the must list at the beginning of Entertainment Weekly every week, there's a must list of things you simply must see and binge and go to and whatnot. And there's usually a book section. Yeah, there's one here now, and it's by Anissa Gray. It's by David Canfield, who is a poobah in their book section. I think he never stops. He does a lot of work for them. And it's a book. It's a little section. It's a little inset about books on families. And the featured one is The Care and Feeding of Ravenously Hungry Girls by Alyssa Gray, which I read 30 pages of it and thought, oh my God. I put it aside. I DNF'd it, I guess would be the BookTube term. I don't think I'll go back to it. But what are the other candidates for books about families? The Corrections by Jonathan Franzen. Oh, David Canfield, you have to come over here. We'll split a bottle of wine. We'll have a long talk. Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste Ng, which I thought was only so-so. I don't understand the veneration. The Godfather by Mario Puzo is not a portrait of a family. It is not a portrait of a family, so I don't know what it's doing on this list. And Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, which I'm pretty sure is only on here because it's about to get a new movie version. I actually have a screener for it here somewhere that I haven't even looked at. The new movie version is going to get all the attention in the world because of Timothée Chalamet, who's going to be in period costume. And Hollywood and most of the heterosexual female community and entirely 100% of the homosexual community cannot get enough of this kid. They just cannot get enough of him. They like looking at him so much that they're willing to call his drooling, scenery chewing acting. Good acting. They won't say that about William Shatner, who does the exact same thing, but they'll say it about him because he's got cheekbones. Okay, there's a long memorial about Karl Lagerfeld. I saw a lot of heartfelt tributes to him online when he died. He had a lot of fans in a community that I know nothing about. And then a 2-page spread on the Oscars. They're coming up. It's going to be gruesome. I still haven't decided whether or not I'm going to watch. The cover feature is a show called Killing Eve. I don't know what that is. I have no idea if it's based on a book. Bean, are you eating something? Oh, you are. Will you stop it? I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to watch the Oscars. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. I would love, for instance, I would love to see, for a chance to be there and see Glenn Close win an Oscar. That would be great. I would love to see industry attention and love showered on Black Panther in an official sense, not just in a popular sense. But trading all of that off for an evening in which Bradley Cooper is elevated to the triple platinum A-list of Hollywood. It's going to happen tomorrow night. It's going to happen at the Oscars. And, oh my God, why do the wicked prosper? But anyway, well, I'll decide what I want to do. Fortunately, I don't have to write about the Oscars. Once upon a time, a long time ago, when I was not only an arts editor, but my own total staff, Oscar night was just a nightmare because ordinarily I had one of the earliest deadlines in the newsroom. And nobody cares about the arts, then or now. But on Oscar night, I had to stay in the newsroom for every single category. Every time there was a category winner, it would come out on the wires, which you kids won't remember, but it was a machine, like a fax machine almost. And I had to wait and collate those for a late deadline issue that would summarize the Oscars in the morning, and it was grotesque. Oh God, oh my. Okay, there's a 2-page spread article on Marie Kondo, the originator of the Con Marie lifestyle, which is actually not mockable. The lifestyle that the lifestyle approach that she has come up with and has made her $1 squintillion in the last 2 years is to vigorously sift through all of your possessions and ask whether or not they actually bring you joy. And if they don't, get rid of them. Don't hold them around hoping that one day they will. Don't hold them around remembering when they did. Get rid of them. If they don't make you joyful, not just pleased or contented, but joyful, then get rid of them. Now, some aspects of that are ridiculous. You know, my toaster does not spark joy in me, but I'm not going to throw it out. There are plenty of things, plenty of possessions that you have in the modern industrial West that are incredibly useful without having any emotional content whatsoever. But she knows that. She knows that. She's mostly thinking of the acquisitive extra junk that we have in our lives. And in that respect, her philosophy is pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting to think about her brand of not so much minimalism as essentialism. But I had to laugh. I had to laugh when she took her philosophy and just blithely, innocently stepped into the world of books. Oh my God. It was like watching Bambi cross no man's land. Book people do not want to hear that if the book doesn't spark joy, they must get rid of it. Book people do not want to hear. She learned that very quickly. She took it with a smile on her face, which is good. But the reason she took it with a smile on her face is because book people offered it with a smile on their faces, which convinces me even more that the bookish community really is the last bastion of any kind of humor or civility in the world. As if we needed any... it convinces me even more of that this woman who advocates getting rid of possessions could take that philosophy to the bookish world and not be burned at the stake. Just wonderful. So what's this? Look at this. Pretty. The Contenders. Oh my God. All right. Well, right in the middle of the issue. The Contenders is not about political candidates. It's about political candidates' books. And it's written by the aforementioned David Canfield. Oh my God. So he goes through a whole bunch of candidate books. Yeesh. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I've read most of these things. If he gives any of them a high mark, then he's drinking on the job. That's all there is to it. And okay, the first one, he gives an A- to Promise Me, Dad, by Joe Biden. But that's not really... We're going to get a Joe Biden book in a year, probably. This is not really that. This is more... technically more a memoir about him losing his son and about his family life. It's not really a thing that AIDS dashed off in the middle of the night at a Xerox machine. That will come. So I'm not sure that counts. Then you've got Amy Klobuchar's book, Elizabeth Warren's book, Cory Booker's book, Pete Buttigieg, his book is called Shortest Way Home, and I think it's a play on the fact that he himself is short. Julian Castro, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris could have written such a good book, but the truth we hold is boring. Just boring. All of these things are just boring. Kirsten Gilligan, Bernie Sanders, and the last one is Howard Schultz. The lowest grade is Howard Schultz from the ground up because he's a punch bag. He's a punchline. Okay, so we've got B minus, C plus, B minus, B, C plus, C. Good. No real high marks except for the Joe Biden book, which I'm kind of accepting. That's good because these things are awful. They're just awful, and they shouldn't be. Okay, then we get to the movies section, and I don't know much about what the movie that we're doing here is A Medea Family Funeral by Tyler Perry, which I do not know at all. Don't have a screener for it. I'm not sure that I'd watch it even if I did. Fighting with My Family, the pro wrestling movie starring The Rock, is in here and gets a B. But there is a side feature on the new Aragon collection of short stories, which is called The Fork, the Witch, and the Worm. I didn't see anything that was any good in it, but then again, I'm not a big fan of Aragon. It would be a perfect little stocking stuffer for anybody who did. Like, for instance, if you know somebody who grew up on the Aragon novels and therefore holds a permanent special place in their heart for them, this is a perfect little thing to get for them. And you might not know it's out because it's small and it's not getting a whole lot of press. And there's a feature on the final installment of How to Train Your Dragon. I have a screener for that, and I just haven't watched it. This is terrible, I know. Then we go to TV, where they check up on Superstore. They do a bit on Samantha Morton, the actress who is joining the cast of The Walking Dead as a very interesting villain from the comic books. What does she have to say for herself? Oh God, okay. The opening paragraph of their little interview with her is easily enough to make you think that she is the world's biggest a-hole. I'm going to read you this opening paragraph. Try to watch your blood pressure. Samantha Morton's agents were worried. Agents, plural. Okay, just so we're clear. She needs more than one. I'm sorry, the bean is moving the laptop. They knew she'd be great for a meaty new role coming up on America's biggest cable drama, but they weren't sure the two-time Oscar nominee would go for starring on a show called The Walking Dead. I am really, really particular about what characters I play, what projects I'm involved with, and why, says Morton. So they're very careful with me. So her multiple agents are very careful. They walk on eggshells around her, fearful of her wrath if they get her the wrong $8 million paycheck. Okay, all right, good for you. It's a zombie show. Okay, all right. Then we have What to Watch. Let's just go through all these things, most of which I don't know anything about. But we are slowly but surely getting far enough back away from bright sunlight and crowds of clean, well-lit people so that we are approaching the book section. It's way in the back. But we'll get there eventually. Then we get the music section. Steve doesn't know anything about music at all. Oh, God. I used to be scared, but then I learned the facts about swimming with a shark in open water. What are the facts, I wonder? All right, okay, so we're finally back to the book section. So what have we got? What's going on here today? One of the things I like about the Entertainment their actual book coverage is that it's not just cookie cutter. They'll change it up quite a bit. It's always very smart. It's better than it has any right to need to be, certainly. So what have we got here? Okay, so Lauren Wilkinson wrote something called American Spy. The 80s set American Spy, about an FBI agent tasked with bringing down an African president, brilliantly updates the espionage thriller. I don't think I've seen this book. Lauren Wilkinson reveals the artistic works that inspired her to create something utterly new. And this features by David Canfield, and the very first influence is the John le Carré novels. Great, fantastic. For those of you who have not read a John le Carré novel, you might want to correct that, because they're very, very good. But I wonder if there'll be any other literary things. Deutschland 83. She binged a German series called Deutschland 83. I don't think I know that. Deutschland 83. I wonder if it's on Netflix. I've never heard of it before. What do we have to say about it? Wilkinson binged this German series while working on American Spy and calls it a great example of a political thriller that draws you in. She chuckles at the premise of a young man suddenly sent to West Germany to work undercover for the sheer over-his-head factor. Marie's spycraft isn't quite so fish out of water, but Wilkinson's derives simple narrative propulsion from her protagonist's inner conflict. Now I want to watch this thing. I'll have to check and see if it's on Netflix. Atomic Blonde. This Beyonce person again was an inspiration. And The Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. Okay, that's a fairly eclectic mix. But are we going to get actual book coverage in addition to... Oh my God. In the Between the Lines section, there's a little bit of industry gossip. Conan the Barbarian will be a key member of the new Savage Avengers series, fighting alongside classic Marvel superheroes Wolverine, Venom, and Elektra. How's he going to manage that? from 40,000 years ago, how's he going to manage to fight alongside Elektra? Savage Avengers? Conan as a superhero? Oh, well, let's hope it doesn't happen. All right, cool. There is an actual book review, Leading Men, by Christopher Castellani, which I think we saw on this channel. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. This is written by David Canfield, who apparently never sleeps. It's summer 1953, and Truman Capote is throwing a party at his Portofino villa. In attendance are all the artists, writers, and intellectuals, among them Tennessee Williams, guzzling booze through what will become one of his life's most consequential nights. Yet the playwright exists only on the margins of this account, which focuses instead on the man who loved him. Christopher Castellani illuminates Williams' longtime younger lover, Frank Merlo, as the hero of their story. Throughout their volatile affair, Merlo played the role of companion, homemaker, and muse. Leading Men is largely framed by Merlo's recounting of the party a decade later as he waits on his deathbed in tarnished hope for Williams to return. That's good writing. That's good stuff. I mean, he has almost no space to summarize this and review it. There's 3 paragraphs. That's incredible. So in the last paragraph, I guess, will be the haymaker. Castellani writes with an evocative precision that historical fiction aspires to. The mood is sexually charged, communal. The book stiffens whenever film star Anja, whom Men introduces as a teenager new to Capote's scene, takes center stage in a faraway present, grappling with a secret about Williams. We're left in the haze of a steamier, drunker time when 2 men's doomed romance could find new life briefly, but unforgettably, in a single longing glance. Okay, so that's a little bit of a slap to one of the book's what is one of the book's actual flaws, which is one of the things set in the later time frame of the book. It doesn't work at all. One of the subplots there doesn't work at all, and it's a tone deaf thing. Castellani is so on his game writing about the past that you wonder why he didn't just do that. I wondered why there was a framing network in the book at all. It was so much weaker than the other, but that's great. That's fantastic. He gives it a B, which is a higher grade than he gave most of those presidential books. So that's good. So there you go. That is the books in Entertainment Weekly. Lots and lots of non-bookish stuff because we're heading into Oscar fever season, but that'll hopefully be over next time. I can't remember if Entertainment Weekly does a books-heavy issue even once a year. I can't remember. I haven't paid this kind of attention to it until I started this feature on this channel. We'll see if they do. But in the meantime, I will wrap this up. I'm sure we have bookish stuff to talk about, though, so I'll be back. Thank you, BookTube.